Hello everybody. Got this Poulan Poulan Pro tiller. It's a 17 inch, and I think the people purchased it at Rural King, but I ain't for sure. But I think that's where it came from. So what it's doing here is it'll start and run good with the choke on, but as soon as you turn the choke off, it will end up dying out on you. But if you keep the choke on about halfway or full choke, it will stay running pretty decent. So what we're going to do here is clean the carburetor on it, check the air filter and stuff. I believe it's a dirty carb causing it, because that's the biggest thing. And they said it's set for 2 years without being started. So let's pull the breather off of this and see what we can find out. First, you'll need a 5/16, or you can do it with the Phillips screwdriver. It's easier for me to just use the socket and ratchet. There's one little bolt underneath it, one on the top here. And you got your pre-cleaner in there and a filter. If you hold the filter up to the light or towards the outside, if it's bright out, you should be able to see light through there. If you can't see no light through there, and it's definitely plugged up too much, and that could be choking it out on you. But on this here, it's not the case. And I believe next is a 10mm to take the nuts off on the inside here. There will be 2 of them. And you got a little tube right here to pull out. And you can just tuck that back out of your way there. Apologize if my arm's getting in the way of the camera there. There will be 2 of these here nuts on it. And you just, after that, you pull your housing part off and throw stuff on the floor, which is just that little part. And this has some dirt on it and stuff, so I'm going to see if I can't blow some of that off. Alright, I'm going to get a pair of pliers. Some hoses will have a clamp on it that you'll need a screwdriver for. This one has the little squeeze clamps on it. All you do is squeeze it together, move it up out of your way. Should be able to pull your hose off there. Sometimes they'll be on there after a while and you may have to cut it a little bit to get it off. And if you have to cut it too much, you may end up having to replace it. After you do that, there's a little spring back here. And it just slides up out of this little hole. And you got a little rod there. And you got to have the choke turn, not choke, but the throttle all the way this way for it to slide up out of the groove of it. Because if you got it all the way back that way, it won't do nothing. It'll stay down in it. And it's good to have a rag or something laying underneath you, or you do like me, just drip it all over the floor. And it's a 10 millimeter to take the bolt off of your carburetor. And inside it, I don't know if you can see it, but down inside there, right around the bottom, there's a bunch of crud. Some of it looks like dirt, and the other is like where the gas has gelled up some. And it will do it because this is the gas that's set in it for the 2 years that they left it. So we'll have to clean the bowl out here. We'll do that to start with. I usually do that by taking some carb cleaner and spraying down in it. Most of the time it'll take it out. Sometimes you might have to take a screwdriver or something and help clean it up a little and break it loose. You can put fuel stabilizer in them, but I've come to find out that that does not help a lot on them. My best luck I've had is using some Marvel Mystery Oil in them. Okay, I got that a lot cleaner than it was, so we'll call that good. Because there's no chunks that I see that can come loose on it. The other is just stains in it like. Now, down inside there's a little jet, and that there, your fuel goes up through that, and it makes its way into the cylinder. So a lot of times that part will become plugged. So if you have any welding tip cleaners or a real small piece of wire, you should be able to run it up through that and clean it out. These welding tip cleaners work really good because it's got like a little file part right there on it. So it helps clean them out really good. I'll put a link down below where you can get these at. I believe they're under $10 on Amazon. Good thing is there's several different sizes in these. After you got it cleaned out good, I would recommend taking some carb cleaner and blowing through it just to finish cleaning it out. And there's some other little spots on these that you can shoot some through. Some of it's right there, you can do it. And there's another spot over here. You can also remove the float on it. And that's just by taking this little pin here out of here. It just slides out of it. Sometimes you may have to take a pair of needle nose pliers or something to get it to start moving. When you take that off, there's a little needle valve here in the end of it. Make sure you don't lose it. And while you have that out, run your little file down into that jet part there, or opening. And take and blow it out. And you just set that back down in there, make sure that little needle goes into that there spot. Slide your little pin back through it. And I always, before I put the bow on it, I take and spray it off one more time. And on your boat, sometimes you'll get a little bit sticking to it, so always make sure you check it. That way you don't put it back together and it comes loose and you end up with another plugged up jet or whatever on it. Make sure you got that tight, and you can go ahead and start to put it back together. Make sure your gasket's good on here, which I'm going to spray that off a little bit. Make sure you got the spring hooked back in the right little spot there. On this one, there's only one little hole in the top of this. And you got your part that controls your choke air that just slips down over this pin part and through that there, and it controls that there. Put your fuel line back on. Check the back of your breather part, make sure it's clean. And that just slides on like that. This little breather part here goes on top of it. Make sure you tighten it back up good, but don't do it too tight that you strip your bolts and that. So use your best judgment when doing that. And I just about forgot. Don't forget your breather tube here. And that just goes down in a little hole in the housing of the breather. And you got your one that goes on the bottom. Which can be a little fun sometimes. Unless you're right down there looking at it. And now we'll turn the fuel back on. I'll move my stuff out of the way, readjust the camera, and we'll see if it'll run. Alrighty, now let's see if this will start. I gotta turn the fuel on and we'll see what it'll do here. Alright everybody, that's all there is to cleaning the carburetor on these Poulan Pro engines. That, I don't know, they're okay. I've had okay luck out of them, as long as you take care of them and do your oil changes and services like you should. But a lot of people neglect their engines and they don't last long. But this one, the people just left it set too long. The fuel ended up gelling in the carburetor some and had some water and got rust, and we ended up cleaning it there. Runs good now. Hopefully they'll take care of it and service it like it should be. So don't forget to like my videos, comment, subscribe, hit the notification button, and have a great day everybody. Bye.